Hello, Joanne.
Okay, can you hear me?
I can.
All right,
Can you hear me?
I can.
Oh my goodness. That was quite the trick last time, huh?
I know. Wonder.
But we got it. Let's just make sure that we can see each other. I can see you.
I can see you.
Okay, it looks like she's here. So let's let her in. Oh, I didn't. Okay. Oh, hi.
How are you?
Hi, Angela.
This is fun, two at one time.
Yee.
Hi.
Well, we kind of talk to people who are creating the life of their dreams, and we've been doing talking with new podcasters lately, so we're kind of featuring that in the few episodes. But and you've been on that path, so kind of that transition of where you were before and then what you're creating today and where you're
That's very doable.
planning to go. Yeah, we're excited to hear kind of what brought you to this point where you are.
Yeah, and Angela, in one of our conversations we had in the support group, what caught me, why I thought, oh my gosh, we need to talk to her, is because Joanne and I had this dream to go live in Italy for a couple of months. And even though it seemed impossible at the time, we started pretending as if we were those people, right?
Love it.
And
Yeah.
it's happening. We've booked our flights. We've done that. So when you mentioned you putting that on your vision board and then the magic of that, I'm like, yes, we must talk to her about that.
Okay, that's helpful. Yeah. So that thrills me, right? Italy is one of my favorite. It's probably my favorite place. It really is. I've been there, I'm gonna say 12 or 13 times. Now, I got to go that much because I lived in England and the flights were only like 200. It was like flying to New York from Maryland. So it wasn't very expensive. It made it easy. But I love Italy, right? I'm going back this summer.
Oh,
Yeah.
Wait, you're going back to Italy this summer?
Oh, yeah. I love Italy. I'm going to visit Venice, Florence, Sicily. I haven't been to that part. And I think it's someone else is organizing it. I think we're going to the wine area. I think we're going to Tuscany too. I don't know if we're doing pizza, but it's a group of friends from college and they were like, we know you love Italy. I'm like, I'm in.
Oh my gosh. Joanne and I worked at the Bellagio before we quit our dream jobs to follow the life of our dreams. So we worked there, and I got to see a lot of people who would come in with their friends on vacations they did every year.
Yeah,
like the girl trip that they did every year.
Yeah.
I loved that. I thought,
That's awesome.
I want to be part of that. That sounds fun. I want some of that.
Yeah, right.
I just said I want some of that a whole bunch. I'm like, I want some of that. I want some of that. Now I'm gonna say I want some of what you guys are gonna do, right? That's fun.
This is Angela, and we met her. She's part of the support system, which is another group that we are all part of, Sherry Salata, that we talk about her quite often. And she's also, I believe, part of the podcast class that I'm taking right now too. So she has her own podcast. Oh, wait.
Be Wonderful You.
Be Wonderful You. And you've been doing it for a while.
I started last September after doing Kathy Heller's Made to Do This program. One of the sessions was on, you should have a podcast. And she said, go out and do a podcast. So I went and pressed the button and I did the trailer. And then she said, just start messy. So then I pressed the button again and did my first episode. But my episodes are like 5 minutes. And it's just a nugget for busy, stressed career women. So a little bit less planning is necessary than the ones that are longer. And I may extend my podcast after the program that we're in together to make it a bit longer, maybe 15 minutes. I'm not certain.
Uh-huh.
Well, you know what? I like those little 5-minute gems.
Mhm.
Those are little gifts that you can fit into any day.
You're
So I
right.
think that's a good, I think those are good. I mean, if you
Yeah.
want to extend it, that's good too.
Thank you for that. Yeah,
Yeah.
my thinking was to reach out to busy, stressed career women was my initial audience. Ironically, I'm starting to get men in as coaching
Mm.
clients, so I'm not saying no. If there's a need and I can help, I'm willing to help. But my thinking was, when you're really super busy and you're crazy at work, most times you get 3 to 5 minutes to go to the bathroom if you really, really have to go, and you're like, I'm about to die here. People don't normally say no because they know what can happen, right? And so my thought was, if they have a phone on them while they're in the bathroom, they can put in their, earplugs and get a moment of inspiration. That was honestly.
Dear friend Angela,
There
Yeah,
you
yeah.
go. Inspiration in the bathroom.
Yeah, if you're
you
gone for
see,
about under 5 minutes, people don't say anything, right? And if it was 10, they might say, what happened? But if it's under 5, usually you can go do that. So that was my thinking.
well, they say you get your best ideas in the shower in the bathroom.
Yeah. Yep, that's how it really started. That's the honest truth.
Oh my goodness, that's great. That's great. So, so you are a businesswoman,
Mhm.
but you've just had a big change
Yep.
recently.
So, yep, my journey to where I am now, which I think and feel it's becoming my best life, wasn't something planned, right? Perhaps like some of your listeners, I was a busy, I would say, stressed career executive who had a great job. I traveled the world for the US government. And if you were in an airport, anything that had international direct flights, you would see me getting to go through the express line because I was usually on my way to some meeting. And I used to joke and say my passport had passports, right? Because it was true. And so I was just full time, really, really serving and feeling like, oh, I'm contributing and protecting American lives, et cetera. What I didn't pay attention to was what was the price that was being paid at home in terms of, did I see my kids? Did I see my husband? Did I see my friends? And usually that answer was not that often. And so in 2019, my mentor, the person who I kind of modeled my behavior after, her name was Pat. She was big time in the Department of Defense, like number 4, right? Really high up. And she had a Harvard MBA, just known for helping people. Really, really good person. We had known each other for 30 years. So she called me and she said, Angela, I have cancer. But she didn't say it like I have cancer. She said, like, I have cancer. You want to go out to dinner? It was kind of like, oh yeah, I'm getting my hair done. I didn't take it so serious. And so we just continued our friendship, talking about all types of things, mainly where we were going to go visit, right? Oh, let's go to Florida. Let's go to this spot in Arizona. Let's go to this. I was like, okay, okay. And every time she would say, let's do it, I took it real literal and I would buy the outfits, check out the weather. I was ready, right? And each time the trip would get canceled by Pat, something came up at work. So on a Friday, I was at work, I think, and I got a call that said, Pat has gone into hospice. Now I knew the word hospice meant something serious. So I was like, okay. So I went there with my daughter and we got to talk to her for a little bit. And she was still saying, we're going to visit here, we're going to visit there, but her tone was different. And this time my response was different. I was like, I'm not so certain. I didn't tell her, but in my mind, I gave a phony yes, right? The other ones were genuine, but this one was phony. And so, because I was thinking, you're in hospice, I don't know about that. And so that was on a Friday. By that Tuesday, she was dead. And that one, they called me, I was at lunch going to Panera Bread to pick up food. And I just turned my car around, wasn't too far, and I drove to the hospice. I got there, I was driving fast. So I got there within 15 minutes of her passing, and she was still a bit warm, right? And I didn't really believe she had died, because she and I looked alike. So if you see me, just take my hair length down about an inch or two and keep a big smile on my face, and you got her. And
Oh,
so when I came in the room, she was laying on the bed, and all my travels, I lived in England, Thailand, and Japan as my main bases, right? During the time I was overseas. I purchased this pair of pearl earrings for her, and she was laying there with the pearl earrings in, and she just looked like she was asleep, right? She didn't look dead at all. So I was like, maybe she's not dead. And I went over, came in the door, and then I turned to the left, and the bed was there. And I lifted her left hand and dropped it, right? And it just dropped. It dropped funny. It wasn't a normal drop, right? Nothing happened. It just dropped. I was like, whoa. And then I was in the room by myself. So I went up to her face and I put my hand over her nose and her mouth. And I didn't get any air back. I didn't get anything right. And so in that minute, in that moment right there, I was like, wow, my stomach dropped. I felt kind of gutted. And I thought to myself, whatever Pat was going to do on this side of glory, whatever she planned, it's not going to happen, right? And she's gone, right? And the biggest feeling beyond sorrow was regret, because we planned so many trips virtually and mentally over the course of like the past 20 years, right? I mean, I've been to all these gorgeous spas in my mind. I've been to Florida in my mind. All types of fun activities in my mind. We never got to go together because for Pat, she was a giver, she was a mentor, she was very good at what she did, and she didn't seem like she understood the word boundaries. She worked typical, she would leave home around 5 in the morning, 5:30, and she'd get back around 8 at night on an early night, right? Sometimes 9 or 10. And she'd go in Saturday and Sunday. I called myself having balance because I wouldn't go on Sunday, but I copied her, right? And so both of us had careers that really went fast to key positions, but her being dead and looking so young, it just gutted me. And if you can imagine, you come into a room and you see someone who's a good friend and they look like you, that's the part that I think took it to an extra level, because I'm looking at someone who could be me, right? I'm just seeing her there and she looked asleep. She didn't look dead because, I mean, I don't think she had time to really look ravaged by the cancer. She didn't look real skinny. She hadn't lost her hair. See what I'm saying? She looked good, right? She looked like me with my eyes shut and pearl earrings. And so I left that room changed. I left that room changed. And in my mind, I think I made a promise, which was, I am not going to be on a table in a beautiful hospice room. It was a stunning room. I mean, all beautiful teak wood. I'm not going to be on a hospital bed. It didn't look like a hospital. It looked like a beautiful room. So it looked like your bedroom, right?
Yeah.
Something real high end. Dead.
Wow.
I haven't done the stuff I said I wanted to do. I left friends behind. I left people who love me behind, right? And this is the part that really doubled it for me. I knew, because Pat and I were close friends, that she had left 6 people her wealth. The ones who got the least amount got 200,000, and one person got 60%, right? So if you do the math, they all got blessed. And that was money that she had saved. She worked all those years for, but she didn't do stuff for herself. Like, she wouldn't always buy herself leather shoes, as an example. I was like, why don't you go to a store and get leather shoes? And she wouldn't, not because she had an issue with animal rights, right? She didn't always put the focus on herself. And so that's how I decided I'm going to change. And I'm going to share this message with as many busy, stressed career women and men as the opportunity presents itself, because the main takeaway for me and for anyone listening is, you matter. You're worth time. You're worth boundaries. You're worth saying to yourself, I love myself. Sherry Salata speak, I love myself the most. And you sure are worth vacation. You're worth taking time to go and see the world. And so I made a lot of changes after her passing, right? It was just like, I guess, a shock to the system, right? And she passed first, and then another good friend, um, she was big time with the Internal Revenue Service, and they always come and get you at tax season. She passed, and hers gutted me because she had been on my mind and I hadn't made time to call her. I was too busy working. And we were good friends, and I thought I'll have time. So the combo of those two, but particularly my friend Pat, if we don't make time to go to Italy when we want to go see Italy, if we don't make time to go and drive and see the leaves change colors, if we don't slow down enough to be present for our kids and for ourselves and for things that matter, life isn't promised. Pat was only 61. That's young. And a lot of women, some men, but a lot of women, we do for everyone else, but we don't always make the time to take care of the special us, the unique individual that we are. So that's what I'm sharing. That's why I call it Be Wonderful You, right? Because she was wonderful. My other friend was wonderful, but they just didn't do for themselves. They gave to everyone else. And if there would be one thing I would share, it's that self-care is not selfish. It's the most loving thing you can give to the people you love.
Absolutely.
It's the most loving thing you can do because your self-care keeps you around. Like the other day, I missed Pat so bad. I went to the secondhand store because she wouldn't always buy new, right? And they had a great find. I mean, I found some awesome items. And I brought them home and I put them in place. I'm like, this is gorgeous. And I wanted to call Pat. I wanted to say, guess what I found? And I just sat there for a second. And I looked at her picture and I was like, man, I can't even tell her. And then this past weekend, my daughter, she's 21, she's in college. She sent me in text a note that she wrote to her Aunt Pat. And the gist of the note was saying something like, Aunt Pat, I really miss you. Now, this is 2019. She passed, right? We're in 2021. Aunt Pat, I really miss you. I enjoy coming over your house and laughing and talking and eating mangionis while we watch something on TV. I know you're in heaven. I hope you're still looking out for me. Hope you can see what I'm doing, right? And she had some more wonderful stuff in there. But I thought, wow, this is my daughter. Aunt Pat was like their auntie, right? That note said to me, she's still grieving. She's still loving and missing her. And that void isn't one that's easily filled because when I was pregnant with my second child and ready to go in for delivery, Pat is who watched my oldest because, you aren't going to give your kids to someone who you trust, right? So she was someone I really trusted. And she has funny stories about my daughter carrying, she loved Superman back then. So she had a big Superman, like half the size of her little person, right? And wherever they went, she was carrying Superman. And she was trying to stay awake for us to come back. But I'm in the hospital. I've just had the baby. And Pat said that my daughter fell asleep mid-sentence holding Superman, right? So those are the types of funny stories. And she's just been a part of our life. So if anyone's listening and you've got anything that's in your quiet spirit that you want to do, be it a podcast, be it traveling to a country, be it buying something that you love, do it, right? Do it. Don't put yourself last. Put your hand on your heart. Say like we now say, I love myself the most. I say this life is mine to design. I also say abundance is my birthright. And I'll ask myself, why is my life so awesome, right? A lofty question. Why is my life so fantastic? And, I'm working towards making those statements fully true. Like my hair, I got it highlighted for the first time ever at 58, right? I always thought about highlights, but I was scared a little bit. And I thought, you know what? If it looks really bad, I'll buy a wig, right? And, it's not bad. I like it, right? Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. But that was like, And then, these are quote unquote new glasses because I just wore the same pair of glasses, the same look for like 20 years. It'd be a new pair, but the same look, right? I'm like, Angela, stretch a little bit, live a little bit more. So that's my high level share for why I retired from the job I was in, primarily because of COVID risk at the time. And I switched to being a motivational speaker, and I now coach groups and individuals at the executive level primarily, who are looking to move into their best life, or who um, are in whatever area they feel kind of stuck, or just wanting direction on how to make things work. And it's a lot of fun, to your point about unicorn. It's quite enjoyable to watch and see different transformations that are happening to the folks that I get the honor of being part of that journey. And I tell my best friend, I'm like, look, every time I'm coaching or teaching something, I'm learning it anew. And I do it in honor of Pat primarily, right? It's for myself too, but I do it in honor of her, because I surely want to say, whenever my time comes, hopefully really far down the road, I did everything I wanted to do. I don't have regret. I saw who I wanted to see. I loved. I didn't hold back. I didn't let fear rob me of the opportunities. That's what I got from watching her pass so early and so quickly, right? Friday to Tuesday. And so some people might have that experience because we've been through COVID, or they might have it just because of life's progression, or it could be because of a pet. But I believe that out of sorrow and out of grief, when we let ourselves feel it and then move through it, I think that the new birth or the rebirth to making commitments to love ourselves, making commitments to really live fully. I mean, really get in there and feel that joy, feel that excitement, that adventure. That's the quest that I'm on. That's why I'm in the different programs and so hungry to just, universe, I'm available.
Right.
Yeah. If people ask me, I'm like, yes, I'll say yes, 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 right? Because I refuse. I guess maybe I'm running a little bit, but I'm like, man, I want to make sure I get to touch all the things on the smorgasbord of life, right? I might not eat it the second time, but I'm going to at least sample it once if it's something I'm interested in, because why not, right? This is a great life that we have. Some of my friends believe in reincarnation. When I lived in Thailand, the Buddhist monks, if you die there, they talk about you transition to your next life. It might be true. I'm not saying it isn't. I don't know for sure. But in my mind, it's a risk that you could come back as a roach or as a mosquito. Right? And, those are not the same life form as being human, right? So,
Yeah.
yeah.
So might as well live your best life now while you can, right?
Yeah. Because, some people will step on a roach and I will squat a mosquito, right? So you could go back into the cycle. It could be worse, right? So my daughter might become a Buddhist. I'm not certain, but I'm like, okay, if you come back as some lower life form, make sure you've done all your living at this level that you really want to do, right?
Yes.
So that way I'm addressing the people who believe it's one time and you're done. That's my belief. Or even those who think, nope, I'm going to get another opportunity. What if you're at a different form? What if it's not as good, right? To me, celebrate this moment and do everything you can,
Yes. Oh my goodness, Angela. Like, you've taken me from like tears to like goosebumps. That's amazing. Your story is amazing. I can't even imagine what that must have been like for you, especially because she looked like you too. Like, that's a whole nother level there. But like, we have no idea when, like, today could be our last day.
Exactly.
And it's so important for us to just live it to the fullest. I wanted to share my card with you because I pulled a card today and it reminded me of what you said. So this is Gabrielle Bernstein's Spirit Junkie, and it's all that I love is more important to me than all that I fear.
Perfect.
Isn't that good?
Perfect.
It's true. It's true. And that, I think you're rocking it. So you put something on your vision board. what, can you tell us more about that? Because we were talking about vision boards.
I love to talk about that. Yeah. So for the vision board part, Pat is the one who always did vision boards, right?
Oh,
And she said to me, she would say to me periodically, hey, come and listen to me. This is what I put on my board for last year. And then I would hear her and she would say, literally check it off. This came true. This came
Oh,
true. This came true. It would be like either the whole list or maybe one thing hadn't come true, right? And so I think I was a slow learner because I didn't do one for like 5 years, right? And then she would say, you know, Harvard did a study that if you write your goals down or if you do a vision board, it increases the probability. I think it was like 80%. It was some high number.
wow, really?
So yeah, so finally I thought, you know what, I'm going to do a vision board. So in my coaching program that just recently finished, um, we were at the last week, we had done 12 weeks together. And I said to them, you know, I'm about to do a vision board. Would you like to meet up? It was outside of the coaching because we had done the graduation. I said, would you like to do it together? And they said, sure. So we all got together and basically I said, okay, let's have everyone buy the stuff that they need and then, you know, come together to do this. Let me tell my husband, hold on for a second. Thank you. So everyone said yes. And we came together and I went to the store. I think I went to like Giant, just to the grocery store. And I purchased like 6 different magazines. And the criteria was it either had to have a title that I liked or it had to have pictures that I liked, right? And I put my board together and it was everything. I didn't have any formula, right? I didn't say to myself, you know, I'm going to do this, that, or the other. And so as I did it, I put down the stuff that was really in my heart. And the fun part about it is that the bulk of what I put down has come true, right? I won't say the bulk, I'm gonna say about 4 of the big items, right? Even the color of furniture that I wanted, I found that at a secondhand store. I'm like, oh, this is perfect. And I just a lot of stuff that I put down and I only did the board, I wanna say within the last 2 months. It's not been long, right? And so as I thought about the process for the vision board, my share with everyone else is, hey, it doesn't take a lot to do a vision board, but when you put it together, there's something about cutting. I just took magazines and cut out pictures that I like. And I took a glue stick, you know, like when you get your kids ready for crafts, and scissors. That's all I had. And then I had a piece of like cardboard paper. And I have it in my room where I can see it. And it's making a huge difference in terms of, I know, oh, I'm going to Italy this summer, right? I put pictures of Italy down and then someone called me. We hadn't talked to each other, I'm going to say 30 years. And she's like, hey, I'm putting together a group that's going to Italy. Do you want to come? We know you're fun.
Oh
I'm
my
like,
gosh.
sure, I'm in, you know? So that happened. And the furniture part happened. I put down exercise and yoga, right? And the yoga part I'm not that good at yet because the picture on there is a lady who's standing with her foot like near her knee. Okay, I'm
Like
not there
tree
yet.
pose.
Yeah, yeah. I'm like, I'll fall over. But I'm starting to do a lot more stretching. I have one that self-care is not selfish and something about free your mind. And then I have a section on eating healthy. So I'm doing a lot more of that. Like I have self-reduced a lot more. Oh, and I also put down pictures of living or having a view of a place in Paris or really in Brittany is what I like near the ocean, right? And that will be happening. I won't live in Brittany, but I'll be back over in Europe this June, right? I'll live between both, but this is just within what, 2 months. It's not been long. And so my encouragement is if you have stuff that you want to do, take it from my friend Pat, who she wrote that up every year. And I mean, almost without fail, everything on her list came true from when she showed it to me. It was over 5 years, right? I just started, took me a bit. I just started. And my lists, or I don't have a list, mine is visual. A lot of the stuff is already coming true. Or if I'm out shopping, I'll see, like I saw this picture, flower vase today, right? It looked like it was from Italy. It was secondhand. I was in the store and I purchased it. I said, oh, this is going to go nice wherever I have this next place, right? Or the other week I was in a store. I've always loved stone looking material, like Italian stone looking material. And I saw this gorgeous vase and I said, oh, that's going to match my next house. And I purchased that and put it beside the fireplace, right? And everyone's like, oh, that's a beautiful vase, right? And, maybe it costs $30 and the vase is like maybe that big. So it's good size, right? It looks like it's stone material.
Yeah.
But it's little things like that that something about seeing it and putting it into the atmosphere, it makes it happen. Now, I also think if we say it enough, that helps. But I like saying it plus putting it, I like the combo of doing both because I want the universe to go to work for me, right? I want the universe to say, hey, this is what she asked us for.
Yeah.
Let's bring it to her. Yeah.
I think saying it, like it starts with a thought, right? And then you focus on it, you pretend, you practice. And that buying the vase is practice, right? Oh my
Yeah.
Oh, good. You
Yeah, I
have
hadn't thought about it
tapped
that way.
you've tapped into the magic. You were already there, but now you're like really there.
Oh
Yeah,
my
yeah.
gosh.
So
I,
I'm
lo-
just hyped.
Oh my
I love hearing all those stories and, I remember the thought of, going to Italy for 2 months. It seems so long ago, but it wasn't really that long ago. And now, doing that. And then the thought of, we want to do international living, a little time in Japan, in Italy, in Mexico, and the US. And as I don't know how, but that doesn't matter right now. Just getting that feeling, and how good would that feel,
It's going to be awesome. And I know it's going to happen for you, it's weird how like I believe there are different levels. Like there's one level that people live in, and that level, they think and see the world as having not enough. And they live miserable existences, right? I refuse to stay there. I want to stay in the abundance and it's possible. And the universe is just dropping blessings into my life, right? Because it happens for others, it can happen for us. And
Yeah.
Joanne, when you said international living, that's exactly what I want, right? I don't want to just be in one country. I want to be able to say, okay, I've got a base. Maybe my base will be England. And I'm going to go to this other country and, depending on if my coaching does well or when it does well, whatever happens,
Yeah.
I will be able to do stuff virtually and some stuff in person. And so I want to live different places, maybe for 3 or 4 months and then rotate to something else.
Gosh.
Hey, Angela, can we just say we invited you into this? We're gathering.
Yes, we're finding other people that want the same kind of life. We're building our own community right now.
I'm in.
So see how we think that a lot of people think life happens to us, but it happens for us. We are the creators, and like how we just created that, Joanne, high five.
High five.
Yes.
Oh, I'm so excited.
Yes. Well, welcome to the club, Angela.
Thank you. It's such an honor to be here. High five.
I think we have 4 members so far, right?
That's a good number.
And then there's others that once they hear about it,
They're coming along.
yeah.
All right, so I have a story to add to it. One of my coaching clients, I won't say names because I protect people's confidentiality. She joined and she didn't know what she wanted to do, right? She really didn't. And so we had different exercises, to walk through the things that help someone who's busy and stressed to center. And as God is my witness, or if you're not believing in God on whatever is someone's belief system, at the end of the coaching program, it was 12 weeks, right? When we did the vision board, she said, hey, by the way, I'm flying to Portugal in 2 weeks. I almost like had to pick my job off the floor, right? Because this person was just a workaholic prior to that, right? I said, that's exciting. What's going on? She's like, oh, I just decided I've always wanted to see overseas. I've never been. I got my passport, and either something came up, however it was, she was in Portugal. Now it's been a month. She's been back for like 2 weeks, right? And you ready for this? When she was over there, she rented a place. She and her partner are going to live there from January coming up for a year to test out, do they love it? Right? And so I'm positive that I'm going to be visiting Portugal within the next year,
Yes.
because she's going to be there starting in January, right? And she said, if we love it, because it's reasonable there, they
Yeah.
either will purchase, or that's going to be a place that they're going to stay between there and the States, right? So literally, when we did the coaching program, so 12 weeks would have been 3 months, 4 months ago, none of that was on her radar. None of that, right?
Yeah.
And now she's been to Portugal. She sent beautiful pictures, and she has a place rented that she's going to be living in starting in January. And when we got together, we had a reunion. She's like, the hardest part was telling my mom and my family, right? And that went well because she was able to answer all the questions. So it doesn't take that long, Joanne, to your point, from when you really, with your whole heart, your whole person say, I want this, that the universe starts saying, here you go, here you go, here you go, so I'm really excited about it. Now, the other big aha for me, I don't know if this is happening to you all or not, I want to have time to enjoy living, right? I want to be able to savor the moments, not just rush, because, I did that podcast because in my prior life, I was lucky to get 5 minutes to go to the bathroom, right? That's why I thought it needs to be about 3 minutes, right? Just in case they don't have a lot of time. But I'm like, why does life have to be that rushed? One of the reasons I love Italy, people slow down, they have these long lunches, right? And then they take a break and they close down the shop. I don't know if I want that as my permanent lifestyle, but it really grounds me. It brings me back to saying we're human beings, not human doings. I can get easily back into the doing mode. It might be I'm doing gardening or whatever it is. I can really, rev it up, right? And I'm working to be more present, really dropped into the conversation, dropped into the moment, experiencing all the joy and everything that comes with it, right? It's fun. It's really, I think Kathy Heller said that. I think it was her. She said, a lot of times we're doing all this stuff so that we can feel good. But what if we just allowed ourselves to drop into feeling good right now? Like today, I was taking my daughter back to college, right? I woke up and said, it's chilly outside. I want to wear something really cute. And so this is my drive my daughter back to school outfit, right?
And you look marvelous.
Thank you. I didn't have anything quote unquote special, but the special was I'm driving my daughter back to school, right? And so my husband, he saw my outfit. He said, "You going somewhere?" I said, "Yep, I'm taking her to school."
It's a special occasion,
Well, for me, And so it's stuff like that. And I dress up however I feel like it. Every day, right? I don't say I dress like I'm going to a wedding, but I just think to myself, hey, if you like a favorite outfit, wear it, right? And if you have no one in the house to see you, take a selfie and send it to a friend.
There you go.
I love that.
Yes.
Love that.
Yes.
That's perfect. I'm taking that. I'm going to treasure that one right there.
Yeah. I've done it a couple times and it's fun, And she's like, you just dress up all the time for yourself? I said, yep. I said, it's fun. Why not? Right. Yeah. And now if I particularly absolutely adore my outfit, I might put the mask on and go somewhere just to walk around a little bit, right?
To be seen.
Just just a little bit, but I'm really doing it for myself. I truly am. But
Absolutely.
if it's stunning, if it's beyond, if I'm like, oh my God, this color combo is just gorgeous, then I go walk somewhere just for like 5 or 10 minutes, just so I can say, I bless someone else with my
everybody
look
else
today.
out there. You're welcome.
Yeah.
I did this for me, and now you get to enjoy. You're welcome.
Yep. That's the honest truth. Yeah. So
Oh my
those are my shares. I hope that helps someone.
Oh,
And
Yes.
that was amazing. Thank you so
Thank
much
you.
for sharing, Angela, and welcome to the club. And
I'm really in. I'm totally excited. Please keep me informed of all the trips because I'm very, very interested. When I lived in England, I had a crazy job and I was working 90 hours. So I didn't really have a big friend group, right? I had friends, but I was never really available to be part of stuff, right? So this wasn't the best way to do it, but I basically put it out there like staff meetings and almost any other setting. If this is how come I got to go to Italy 12 times. If anyone's going to Italy and wants company, let me know. And so sometimes someone would be there just on a quick travel over to go, do whatever they had to do and go back. And they would come talk to my office manager and say, I heard that Angela is willing to go to Italy. And the person knew, yeah, say yes, right? And so I've gone to Italy about 3 or 4 times with people who I really didn't know. They were women. I wouldn't go with a guy who I didn't know because that'd be a little awkward, right? And we would talk like maybe an hour before we booked the tickets. And I'm like, do you have any weird traits? Right? And he's like, no. Like one person told me I'm missing my big toe. I said, that's really not an issue for me. Right? I'm like, as long as you want to walk around and get some ice cream and go see Italy, I'm in. And so I made some fun, good new friends just by saying, you want to go to Italy? I'll go. That's how come I got to go so many times because I love Italy, but it's a little bit lonesome if you do it by yourself. I backpacked around by myself once. It wasn't as much fun. I'm an extrovert. I like to talk to people, right? So I've gone with near strangers who became a friend by the end of the trip.
Oh my goodness.
that's amazing.
Well, thank you, Angela. And before we leave, before we close up, we have some little light questions for you. So
Sure,
first
sure.
one is going to be, do you prefer coffee or tea?
I love tea, particularly English tea. My favorite tea house is Betty's in Harrogate. And they have absolutely wonderful tea that's fair trade. And I like the decaf or peppermint. Those are my favorites.
Ooh, thank you. And then one last one is, you just won the lottery, $100 million. What's the first thing you're going to do?
I'm going to give each of my siblings that I like 100,000. I'm going to pay off the house. And I'm going to book a around the world trip on I think it's called the Cunard.
Oh,
It's a really nice cruise ship. I'll check their COVID protocol, but if it's good, I'm going to book that. I'm going to buy a house somewhere in Europe, probably in Brittany. I'm going to hire a chef.
oh yes.
Yeah, a personal
Oh,
trainer. And I'm going to keep living the way I'm living. I'm pretty happy with what I'm doing. I
yes.
just would like to know, oh, money's not an issue at all, right? So I would basically continue my lifestyle of traveling, but instead of saving up for it, I would say pay for.
Yeah.
And then I would give or contribute a portion in a tax-friendly way to set up some type of foundation that nominates some type of busy, stressed career woman, probably twice a year, and they would get a spa treatment, the stuff that Pat wanted to do. They would get a spa treatment. They would get a trip of their choosing to someplace fun with a friend. The only requirement is if they don't use it within a certain amount of time, they lose it because I want them to really take it, right?
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
And then
Yes.
I probably would set up something for young women, college age or maybe high school, to have them, get it named after either Pat or something like that, and have them go through something where they really learn self-care. They learn how important they are. And then their graduation gift would be either a trip to Italy or a trip to some place that's like, pamper time for a week or two. So that would be what I would do.
Even if you don't win that lottery, I think a lot of those things are going to come true anyway.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Those are my goals.
So how else can people get a hold of you or follow you? Where can they find you?
So the easiest ones are, I have a podcast, Be Wonderful You. And I really mean that for everyone. Live your best life, be your wonderful self. Don't delay doing things for yourself. That's on all podcast channels, Apple, Spotify. If you do podcasts, you can find it. That's 3 to 5 minute max nuggets for now. And each week one comes out on a Wednesday. I have an Instagram that's a year old, so I'm new to technology, and that's called @Angela_Crump, CRUMP Volcy. I think that's all you say there. I have a web presence, AngelaCrumpVolcy.com, and I have Facebook, Angela Crump, no hyphen Volcy. That one, I have to at least know you, or I look to make sure you look like a real person, not a hacker. If you look weird, don't let you in.
That's right.
Yeah. So those are easy ways. And then of course, if it's a friend of yours, they can reach you if it's someone who and you can vouch for them, and then I let them into my world.
Absolutely. And we'll put all those things on the show notes. And so people can have them. So
Oh, and also I forgot to say, if you need a motivational speaker, or really I call it transformational speaker, I'm available for that. I get paid when I do that particular capacity. And I have individual executive coaching, and I have group coaching opportunities. So if someone's interested in those are available as well.
Oh,
goodness, you're spreading goodness everywhere, Angela.
Thank you. I'm doing my part to make sure that whenever I shut my eyes for that last time, I want it to be, I feel good about it. I lived and I did the stuff I wanted to do. That's really at the end of it. Like when I get ready to go to sleep at night, I do my breathing, the breathe in, hold it, and then breathe out. And usually I'm like, was this a day that was well lived? Was this a day that you wouldn't have any regrets? And I try to make sure that answer is yes, right? If there's something I'm like, oh, I would have regrets, sometimes I'll get up and I'll send a note or I'll make a phone call if it's something that's really been on my mind, and then I sleep better.
Oh my gosh, that's a good idea. I like that.
Yeah.
I stored that one too.
Yeah, sure. You're welcome.
Thank you so much. You're an inspiration. You really are.
Thank you. Well, I'm impressed that you all put this together. I mean, this is my first time doing a podcast with two people, right? So it was fun, right? A lot of fun, and hearing what you all are up to. I'm like, oh yeah, they're my type of folks, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, kindred spirits on the other end, definitely.
Yes.
Thank you so much. It's been a real honor. I'm happy to have spent this time with you, and I hope that our conversation helps someone who's deciding what they're going to do with their time. I hope they invest that time in themselves.
Yes.
Well, thank you. You're
so welcome.
Have a beautiful day.
Yes.
Bye.
Okay.
That was amazing.
Look at that. We got our fourth member of our international living.
I think we're on to something, Joanne.
Oh,
Okay, her story.
Oh, I've heard the story, about her friend.
I haven't heard that one before.
I've heard it, but every time I hear it, I'm like, oh, and what impresses me is that, that what she's doing now is a result of that experience, that heartfelt. It's something that is embedded deep inside her, because her love for her friend, and it out of that, I'm like, oh, that's why it's so powerful.
Yeah. Well, she's really left, her friend has really left
Yeah.
an impression, not only on her, but like her family.
Every time,
too.
yeah. And every time she shares her, Angela shares her story, she's honoring her friend, you know, into, yeah, spreading that message of live now, you know.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, that was amazing. It was just what we needed for today.
I know. Uh, so
Yeah.
good. Yeah, I feel like, you know, because she did the Made to Do This last year.
Yeah.
And then so I'm thinking, oh my gosh, you know, I feel like she's really picking up some momentum with, you know, the things that, because she did it, I mean, it was 2019, she said, right, that
Yeah.
she quit her job, you know. So I'm like, oh wow, it may take a couple years, but you know,
Yeah.
I feel like, yeah, she is living how she really wants every day before she goes to sleep, you know.
Oh my
Was
gosh.
this a day worth living, and did I do everything I could? So,
Yeah.
no regrets.
That's she's doing so many great things, and like little piece by little piece, the slow, she's talking about doing it slow. But
Yeah,
that's how you can like measure, like, is this really what I want? Does this feel good? Is this what I want for myself?
yeah. And I like how she would get the, you know, the $30 Italian looking vase from the thrift store, you know, but that it does carry that, I don't know, dream or something, you know, makes a little part of it real. And
Yeah.
then and then, you know, the universe just comes and can surprise and delight you, you know.
Right. Just like trying it on, like you said, just
Mhm.
trying, like you've been talking about, trying it on.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good
What a
stuff.
what a fun conversation.
Yes, that was fun. Yeah.
Uh, all
Right.
right.
Well, Joanne, have a beautiful day. It was
Thanks.
lovely talking to you as always.
Yes. Yes. And we get to see Gay Hendrix tonight.
Oh my gosh. Yes, I know. What?
Yay.
I'm so excited.
Me too.
Who are we talking about these amazing people? Love it.
I know. And it's just it keeps happening naturally.
Yep. Yep.
So,
Yep.
all right. Well, have a great day.
All right. We'll see you.
Bye.